I'm Tyra Banks, a girl who needs no introduction, and today you're watching America's Next Top Model. Today I'm having Cammie dress up as Audrey Hepburn from the 1950s in a romantic outfit. She's trying to sell this lipstick, and I want her lips to be luscious and full, vibrant, so that she can really drive that point across to the person who wants to buy it and to her audience. So let's check in with Cammie. How's it going over here, ladies?
Oh, I'm exhausted.
Oh, I bet. But you look wonderful. Oh, Cammie is our model who can't take a bad picture. Cammie, today I really want you to channel Audrey Hepburn in the 1950s classic Sabrina.
Oh, yes.
I want you to think of her on that tennis court, waiting for her true love, Bill Holden, to walk through her childhood crush, fulfill every memory and every fantasy. But I want you to do this all as a monkey.
A what?
A monkey. Let's
Okay.
see. Smize. Yes! That is fantastic. Let's see how those images turned out. Oh, Cammie, I'm so incredibly disappointed in you.
Oh, what?
That was flawless. That was perfect. But these images, they're just horrible. I can't even see your mouth.
What can I do differently?
It's not you. These are awful. I think it's the photography. Gillian, what lens are you using?
I'm using conventional sonography. What's wrong with it? The problem is the model, not my camera skills.
There's no way. That was perfect. Cammie,
That was my best monkey.
Cammie is the girl who cannot take a bad photo. There's no way it was her fault. What could you do differently?
All right, Tyra, what do you suggest? Did I try spatial compounding?
Spatial compounding. Not a bad idea. Spatial compounding is a sonography technique that uses electronic beam steering of a transducer to capture the image. So Gillian will take up to 3 to 9 images from different angles of you. And each time she takes that image, she moves and gets it from another angle. And then she moves again and she gets it from another angle. So what this does is she takes those scans and those photos and she puts them all together to create one image. And that one image captures all of the best aspects of each shot that she took.
So why wouldn't you just use normal ultrasound technique?
Well, normal ultrasound technique creates speckle. So did you notice on your photo how much speckle and artifact there was on there?
You mean all the shadows?
Oh yeah, all those shadows.
Yeah,
and
I thought it was
lips were
Gillian.
blurry. No, she's a phenomenal photographer. It was more just that regular ultrasound. Now we're taking it a step up and we're using spatial compounding instead.
So will it get rid of all the shadows on my face?
It will. It will definitely get rid of those speckles.
And you'll be able to see
shadows.
my lips?
Yes, because your lips are the most important part, obviously, to sell this. There's a greater chance that one of these beams from which directions that she takes, the beam of sound, will hit from a 90-degree angle. That 90-degree influence is where that amplitude is at its greatest. So it reduces all of the speckle and produces a clearer image so that the resolution will make you look flawless.
So it'll reduce the speckle and the artifact.
It will, yes. We'll be able to see pores that you didn't even know existed.
So, Cammie, the image is updated in real time through the scan, meaning the movement that might sometimes create artifact will be less of a factor for us when capturing the best image. The purpose of spatial imaging is to visualize and estimate the position, volume, and condition of soft tissue more accurately before diagnosis and invasive procedures are performed.
Invasive procedures?
No. Don't worry. She just means before we put the ads in the magazines to convince people to buy them.
So Gillian's going to shoot an electronic beam at me with her transducer.
Right.
And it's going to hit me and turn into sound. And then reflect back electronically to her transducer.
Right, correct.
Then I'm going to change position by Beth's side.
Oh, so beautiful.
And she's going to do it again.
Yeah.
And then I'll make music again.
Isn't it amazing?
And then we can compile all those images to have our most enhanced, beautiful perfection.
And you will be America's Next Top Model.
Oh, let's get started.
That's exactly correct, and unfortunately it's less expensive, so my paycheck will be a little smaller.
Oh, don't worry, Gillian. That will not be a problem. This could mean life or death of the advertisement of the lipstick. So your paycheck you should expect to see a bonus.
Oh, perfect.
So I've never heard of this before. It wasn't in my class, How to Make the Camera Work for You 101.
It was discovered back in the 1950s.
Ah, just like Audrey Hepburn.
They realized the limitations of specular reflectors and the lack of continuity that resulted from imaging tissue interfaces. Compound medical imaging was used to compensate for the system's shortcomings. With the introduction of grayscale imaging in the 1970s, a new advantage of compound imaging became apparent. Spatial compounding was then used to lower the effects of acoustic speckles to create a higher resolution image.
Unfortunately, we like things done very quickly, so we stopped using it around the 70s and 80s in clinics.
How did it make its comeback?
In the 90s, ultrasound was developed digitally, so we could use digital ultrasound, which gave us hope for using compound imaging to evaluate real-time spatial compound images.
Digital scanning. I think I've heard of that. If you're such a great photographer, why don't you use this for all of your images?
Whoa, nothing is perfect.
Except your photos.
One potential cost of using spatial compounding is decreased temporal resolution.
Wait, what's that?
The number of frames compounded, so motion blur is increasingly likely.
Oh. And with how quickly I move.
Yes, exactly. Over here and have a seat.
Great idea.
Spatial compounding uses a greater number of frames compounded, so motion blur is increasingly likely.
Wait a minute. Earlier, you said motion wasn't a problem for spatial compounding.
It may not be an important problem in scanning of a musculoskeletal system because most muscles and tendons are superficial. So we can have higher frame rates. Also, the number of frames averaged can be adjusted according to the application. For example, during the dynamic evaluation of tendons, a lower number of frames can be used, whereas in static situations, a higher number of frames can be compounded.
However, the posterior acoustic enhancement characteristic of the images is less clear in spatial compounding than in conventional ultrasound. Also, because compounding images uses more lines of angle than conventional methods, the frame rate is much slower.
Let me see that picture. So, are you telling me, let's get this straight, the deeper the penetration, the less effective the spatial compounding will be?
Yeah! Plus, spatial compounding has limited availability because it's only available in linear and convex transducers.
Do you have any of these linear or convex transducers with you?
I always carry both linear and convex transducers with me.
That's my girl.
Then beam me up, Scotty.
Let's see those images. Oh my gosh, do you see the difference? Here, let me put them on my phone. Click. Oh, that's amazing. Look at the difference. That's marvelous. Well done, ladies. Next year on America's Next Top Model, you can expect to be seeing Gillian, the girl who used spatial compounding.